TV2 Live. Check, check. What's up, folks? TV2 Live. All right. Just still checking notifications. Fox 11 in LA reports that Trump drops the F-bomb in a rant about Iran and Israel not respecting his we now have world peace ceasefire shtick. So yeah, I guess, I mean, maybe I get hung up on some silly shit, I suppose. But, you know, Trump fucking coming out saying there's a ceasefire between Israel and Iran and I guess the U.S., I'm assuming. I mean, and look, I'm not fucking promoting that we fucking lay waste to Iran or anything like that. It's just that, you know, we took those shots at their nuclear facilities, and then after that they attacked one of our bases, and Trump said, okay, we're all good now. And I mean, to me that was just a weird thing. Like, I'm glad he didn't just fucking, you know, annihilate a bunch of fucking innocent people or just start fucking leveling shit in Iran. You know, nobody is defending Iran having ill intentions with any sort of nuclear program, right? But for fuck's sake, wouldn't we want to see them have, you know, nuclear energy? And honestly, do we have the right to tell anybody what to do? We don't. I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and say, because we own, you know, probably 28-30% of the fucking world's nuclear arms. James, what's up, brother? Cheers to you. So it's easy for America. And look, I get it. I mean, we don't, for the most part, our leaders and the people who could, you know, enact hell upon the earth here in America, for the most part, I guess we trust that they won't. We have so far, but that doesn't, it still doesn't sit well with me, you know? Do I want every country, and do I think every country in the world needs to have nuclear weapons? Not at all. I don't think none of us should have them, right? It's just insanity The world's pretty much, I mean, humans are a fucked up species. I have a hard time at times not considering that we are a fucking virus, seriously. I mean, what have we done? Positive. There is no other species on the planet that is delusional as we are. James says, special thanks to all the four maggots who have participated in TV's poll. You know what to do. Click it. Yeah, I don't think it will. I don't ever vote in my own polls, but I don't think it will. I mean, I don't think it'll hold either. What was the quote that I heard today from Mark Twain? Quitting smoking is easy. I know because I've done it 1,000 times. So having a ceasefire is easy. It's making it stick. That's the hard part, right? You know, I'm not trying to fucking... I just want to keep you guys reminded, I mean, what we're in for. I've said since January, probably since the election, that Trump is building the perfect storm. We have a complete breakdown in foreign affairs. Our economy is, is really volatile and sporadic right now. Well, consumer confidence is down, jobs are down. That's not sporadic or volatile at all. That shit's just down. Prices are up. But, with RFK, we haven't, there's things that we have that are just going to start coming into play here shortly. And that's, the natural disaster response that we have in our country or did have. We have no idea where that's at. Infectious diseases with RFK, with BJ running the show in that tent. And I just feel like it's gonna be, these things are gonna start ramping up, and I believe that it's already to the point where there will be no good response. That it's gonna be hell like, no matter what we do right now, because these things are already in play. Shit like infection diseases taking over, or there being outbreaks, I should say, of stuff like the measles. These things are already in the works. We're always playing catch up with them, right? Always. James, I hope he comes out with a flavor that is all natural, no additives, no artificial coloring. I want my horse paste to look and smell like horse paste. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So when I was in the riding along my automobile, Give me a second here. I have a really sloppy mouse. It doesn't want to grab a hold of anything anymore. So, James, when I was out in the truck earlier, always listening to NPR like I do. Well, you guys are probably never going to be able to fucking read this anyways. I am going to read it, but holy fuck, this mouse is really... This mouse is fucking killing me. All right, so when I was out in the truck earlier, as I always listen to... That's a little bit better, maybe. Always listen to NPR, said that there was a measles outbreak in Grand Traverse County, which is just north of me, a couple counties. Probably about 3 hours drive or something. And that a outbreak is defined as 3 or more confirmed cases. So local health department are saying there is a measles outbreak in Grand Traverse County as a third case was confirmed on Monday, June 23rd. Grand Traverse County Health Department and the Michigan... This doesn't surprise me too much. Grand Traverse County, or in Traverse City specifically, is a pretty, like... It's a pretty liberal city, right, for the north and west of Michigan, because we tend to be more conservative along the Lake Michigan shoreline and up into the UP, of course. Farther north you get, the more conservative it gets. But so an outbreak is defined as 3 or more related cases. The first case of measles in the county was reported June 18th, 2025. This was the first in Traverse County case since 2019. 2 days later, a second case. See, that's what I hadn't had a chance to read up really much. I was wondering what they considered, if, you know, there must be a time limit in between confirmed cases, I guess. These ones are clearly right on top of each other, all within a few days. So it is important that we, as the public health department, take action to protect, maintain, and improve the health of our community, said Mike Leahy, MPH health officer of GTCHD, which Traverse City County Health Department. Measles are a serious disease, and we want to make sure that our residents and visitors are safe. And, you know, that's something I thought of immediate, too, is, now this is Grand Traverse County, which, you know, fucking counties aren't massive. You can get to from one end of any one to the other in 45 minutes, right? But, so Traverse City, especially like right now, is huge. All along the lake shore is dependent on tourism. And so Traverse City especially there is... this has got to be a little scary for him, because for sure, I mean... There's no fucking way I'm going up there, because whatever, you know, the confirmed cases we have, we know that. I mean, are they just like with COVID when we started to try to do the tracking, right? It's like, are you kidding me? How do you ever possibly fucking run down every fucking contact that an infected person has had over whatever, you know, period of time that they may have been infectious? So... Symptoms of measles usually begin 7 to 14 days after exposure, but can appear up to 21 days after exposure and may include high fever, may spike over 104, which is extremely dangerous for an adult, especially anyone over 12 years of age. Runny nose, watery eyes, tiny white spots on the inner cheeks, gums, rash, red, raised blotchy usually starts on the face. Anyone experiencing this is urged to call their healthcare provider if you have one. Let me catch up with you guys. Looks like we got Jim Wedge in the house and Dave and Mac is back. And Fred. Cheers to you, fellas. They're doing something. The whales are getting crazy. Is Trump mad again? Yeah, Dave, I guess that's a good segue. I will, I think this is similar to what Dave was just sharing. And I'm all about going off track. Satellite images show damage from U.S. strikes on Iran's Fordo nuclear site. So, it doesn't really look much different, does it? Looks like a lot of debris or something got spread around, but U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that the United States has totally obliterated 3 Iranian nuclear sites in what he called spectacular successful strikes. Again, he did these strikes and whatever. I may or may not give my opinion on it. But then Iran attacked one of our bases. Yes, it was just, hey, fuck you, you haven't we're still here type of response or whatever. But and again, like I said right at the beginning of the stream, I'm not for, not like I'm encouraging Trump to go over there and lay waste to Iran, but isn't it odd, you guys? We don't just accept hits from fucking people, right? We get the last word always. Yeah. Good or bad, I'm just saying it's different. The military used so-called bunker buster bombs and missiles to target the heavily fortified Fordo facility as well as Natanz and Isfahan sites. Isfahan. Trump's decision to join Israel's military campaign marks a sharp escalation in the region, which has seen more than 21 months of Israeli genocide in Gaza. Correct. Genocide. So that's something else too, like, Trump, did you guys even have that? Probably. Trump saying that we now have world peace, right? Because he bombed Iran's nuclear facilities in one night campaign. It's, what about the genocide in Gaza? What about Russia invading Ukraine? That's still going on. What about all the other fucking, civil wars, wars between other countries? You have what's going on in the Congo and still Myanmar. It's just too many for me to keep track of. Yeah, James says, I have to say something. Cuomo, are you fucking serious? What the fuck? It's a joke. I don't get it either, James. I watched PBS NewsHour last night did a piece on Cuomo running for the mayor, right? And I forgot who's the other. Zoran is one of the Democrat candidates here in the primary. Did they already choose him? I think maybe they did. Maybe Pete said the vote was yesterday. That would suck. So did he end up winning? I only seen the anyways, the PBS NewsHour interview or piece, and they were talking with different voters, specifically folks that were supporting Cuomo. And they had interviewed a few female voters, older, too, by the way. I don't know. I'm left pretty much speechless too, James. I don't know what to say, dude. I don't fucking get it any more than you do, brother. It's fucking fucked up, isn't it? Like, they're like, well, Andrew Cuomo is experienced and tough, and it's like, well, that may be true. There's no doubt he has a lot of great experience, but he's also a predator. So, is there compromise when we're thinking about candidates in that way? It's absolutely fucking insane. I wish I didn't have to keep expanding this chat though. I'm trying to bring it up, James. Hang on a second, brother. There we go. Oh, this is sorry, James. Okay. God, why do they do that? That video had nothing to do with this fucking story, did it? Obama tweets haunt Trump. Fury in the U.S. Donald Trump's past commentary on his predecessors has come back to haunt him, while some MAGA loyalists have shown open dissent since the decision to bomb Iran. Tweets posted by the U.S. president between 2011 and 2013, when Barack Obama was in office, resurfaced over the weekend after Mr. Trump. Sorry, I love it when they don't refer to him as president. It's hilarious. As well, I guess he was Mr. Trump back then. After Mr. Trump ordered strikes on Iran's nuclear program. In the old post, he repeatedly claimed Mr. Obama would start a war with Iran, saying it would be done in order to get reelected. Right. Let's hear this. Here's a video clip. Let's see if I can get this.
He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran.
Well, that's the strange.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hold on. Jesus Christ, seriously struggling with this site. Too much pop-up shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. So the video clip, 2011 video clip of Mr. Trump, then a star TV series Apprentice, shows him making similar comments. The video was captioned when Trump predicted himself, "Our president will start a war with Iran," blah, blah, blah. We just seen that video. Those posts and clips have gone viral on social media in the wake of Mr. Trump's shock military move on Sunday. The president has since faced criticism within his own base. There's some of the tweets or whatever from Trump about Obama back then. Yeah, we've seen that Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a fucking spaz anyways. She was bitching about bombing Iran and then came out and thanked President Trump for world peace. What a douchebag she is. Yeah, it's a shit show. Look, you guys, I'm not surprised at all, honestly. Like, I doubt you are either. Like, I never believed for a fucking second that Trump wanted. I do believe he wanted wanted to isolate us, or because of his cowardice. But I do not think for a second that he isn't hell bent on fucking up people. Without a doubt. I mean, he wants to be a badass. What does he say? Knock the living hell out of them? Beat the fuck out of these people and I'll cover your fucking lawyer fees? He has one emotion, and and this is why I always go back to saying that Trump is like adult autism or Asperger's. He has one emotion, and that's anger. There is just no doubt. I mean, I've never doubted for a second that Trump wouldn't be looking for every opportunity he could to fucking bomb the shit out of somebody for whatever reason. I'm not kidding you. I think he wants to show, look at the fucking military parade, for Christ's sake, you guys. He wants to show that he is in charge of the world's strongest, military, offensive, defensive, standing, fighting force. Without a doubt. And that means he's going to have to fucking throw some bombs at people. Because he wants to show how tough he is. But at the same time, he doesn't want, you know what it is? He doesn't want to show or use our strength to help people like Ukraine or Gaza, right? He doesn't want to, tell people who kiss his ass like Bibi, this isn't cool what you're doing. Not that he gives a fuck, quite honestly. He has absolutely zero empathy or understanding, compassion, humanity. It's clear he has one emotion, and that's anger. So I think that he's it's not that he's afraid or doesn't want to be aggressive. He just doesn't want to fucking help anybody. He doesn't want to be a humble, you know, leader. He doesn't want to be a solid ally or friend to democracies around the world. He doesn't give a fuck about that because that doesn't do anything to help him or improve his what he thinks is a good reputation, right? He only wants to fucking fuck shit up when he's going to be able to do so, and he will, and he has. And I think we'll see more of it. Yeah, I think I got that one, James, I believe. I'm a Neanderthal once in a while. I'll probably be a Neanderthal before this stream's over. I like that one, Dave. Same shit, different hat. I'm glad there's no skinheads or mohawks in there. Dave is making images like hand over fist. Dave, how you feeling, brother? We didn't see you for a few days. I don't know when the last time I seen you. Maybe over the weekend or something. I'm pretty disgusted with my... I'm serious, you guys. Like, I am a couple little fucking tech failures away from not being able to stream, I swear. I gotta get my shit together. I got a bunch of wired mouses. So I don't see this ceasefire lasting long. And look, it's just a joke. You know, the thing that could make me look completely wrong is Israel may have accomplished what it has wanted with Iran outside of the fucking regime change, which, look, I would bet my life that at least if you ask Bibi, hey, would you prefer a regime change in Iran, he would absolutely, it would be an overwhelming yes, right? It would be a strong or a hard yes. So I think this depends on if, in Bibi's mind, that they've accomplished whatever goals they want for right now with Israel. But also, you know, again, and I listen to what I think is at least the most legitimate, you know, source we can get, and that's public radio. This has set Iran back maybe a couple months, right? At the most. I mean, there's just no, and I'm not ready to lean either way, right? But there's no proof that of what damage, I guess I should say. There's no proof of what damage has been done. I'm sure some has been. I don't think like that. Those facilities escaped, you know, are all good. But also, there's probably a really, it seems pretty likely that they moved all their yellow cake beforehand. So, yeah, I don't know. It's all just a lot of fucking guessing right now. And I think that, again, it just, if you look at history, and if you look at recent history, like real recent history with Bibi, and what hit. I mean, the son of a bitch has laid waste to Gaza, right? Still continuing with the genocide there, And I was being a dick last night, saying this ceasefire is going to free up more time for Bibi to continue on with his genocide of Gaza, right? But they've done a lot of damage in Lebanon, and now Iran, right? And even so much as slinging missiles into Qatar to hit a U.S. base. So I don't think that, or Iran doing that, right? I didn't mean to, but it's like it's not these. I don't know what to say. If you look at history, this shit is just not gonna last. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't surprised that maybe there was a few missiles slung after the official ceasefire time, 7 a.m. Israel time this morning, which I was still watching live at that time. I don't know what time. We're about 7 hours behind them. Something like that. Putin, what's up, brother? Gloria, good to see you. Cheers, folks. What do you got, Putin? Little X post. Happy birthday, General McBigMac. You pathetic piece of shit. General McBigMac. General McDick Cheese. Jesus fucking Christ. Putin, that's what I... See, you were gone, brother, but that's what I was thinking during the military parade. Like, will Trump ride in a tank like Patton? I don't have... God, I wish I had my sunglasses up here. Not that I have aviators, but... Oops, wrong hand. Saluting with my left. Putin says Bibi's going to do as much as possible while Trump is president. Without a doubt. He loves him. You see how happy that son of a bitch is, Putin? Bibi, I mean, you see how fucking happy he is in the in his fucking press releases? Jesus Christ. Like, not that. Oh man, I could just fucking go off. I could just go off. It's Putin. Nobody in Congress is doing anything to fucking curb our appetite for supporting Israel, whoever is in power over there, and whatever nonsense they're up to. What is going on, dude? I think you and I talked about this not long ago when I discovered, or at least had been reminded of the 68 or 67 incident with Israel attacking one of our fucking ships, for Christ's sake. Oh, I see. Thanks, Fred. I was asking about that because I know Pete is a New Yorker, so he was talking about the election yesterday. Maybe he was doing an early voting thing. So, yeah, who is it? I seen a piece on, well, I guess they did on Zohar, if I'm getting Zohar. And, yeah, how Andrew Cuomo's giving him a run for his money. It's fucking insane. I mean, Me and James were just fucking ranting about it a few minutes ago. It's absolutely insane that there's going to be people that Andrew Cuomo even has a shot. And of course it's purely, I guess, because I don't know how people balance that shit or justify it. I don't, you guys. I don't. I mean, look, I get sometimes that if you do the right thing, you just playing with all due rationale. You're fucking accepting defeat. I'm not saying that in this mayoral election, but you know what I mean. I mean, there's times when we know we have a choice to make, and it's either, compromise, just some basic fucking human decencies, or you fucking lose, right? You're going to lose that battle because there's a lot of fucked up people out there. Part of the issue with Iran is all the alleged proxy support in multiple countries against Israel. Yeah, right on. The Houthis, right? Yeah, and I mean, not Hamas, but Hezbollah. Yeah, Iran has a ton of proxy support for sure. Well, Putin says alleged, but we do. I mean, for sure, we know that Iran supports some of these groups in different ways. Putin, I'm sure you've seen the Iran supplying or supporting Hezbollah through like heroin sales and shit. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree, brother. Putin says all countries participate in this kind of behavior. Absolutely. We're arming we've armed guerrillas. We do, or guerrillas. We arm the opposition of our enemies all the fucking time. Yeah, right on. Mel's, what's up, sister? Cheers to you. Gloria says USS Liberty. Hey, Mac, if you got your ears on, I did the last, it was just a couple days ago, I think. You sent me another clip of the Pretenders tune, right? Bassline. I just want to make sure that I thought maybe you were sending me some sort of bass rip. Oh, you want me to send you the drum tracks for a straightforward blues tune. I gotcha. But yeah, it is way cleaner. That. Should we listen to it? Should we listen to Mac playing one of my favorite bass lines ever? All right, now I didn't hear that fuzz the first time, Mac. That's weird. I swear it was cleaner than that. All right, so maybe that isn't, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see that, Mac. I don't see it in my personal email or the channel email, brother. Yeah, the last one I have from you is on the 17th. That's where I didn't look at the date, so I re-downloaded the same one, but Yeah, I do not have another. I don't have another link from you, brother. B, what's up, sister? Mel says she's going to be 70 years young in October. My whole life we have been interfering in other lives. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, that's something like a lot of us can get on board with Trump. You know, if we took the best intention of what Trump's words would be, whether he had any thought of his at all, not isolationism, but really, well, for one, it would start again. God, I get so fucking pissed at this shit, you guys. Why? I mean, if any of you have looked into our blind support for Israel since day one, it's fucking gross. It's not just Republicans, or it's unexplainable, you guys, when you really dive into the details in some of these meetings all through the years. It's absolutely fucking mind-blowing. Just the hands up in the air, like, Republican, Democrat senators, representatives going, I don't have any comment on it. Let's continue to prove support for Israel. I don't know what to say. It's hard for me to not start taking on that fucking Trumper's absolute crackpot conspiracy mindset when that shit happens. It's like there's no pushback, you guys. None, ever. That's the shit we have to start with, in my eyes. Like Mel says, we've been fucking sticking our nose in places her whole life. And to me, that's why not start with the biggest goddamn issue, right? Does that make too much sense? B says she got a Florida license plate today. Mission accomplished, a 7-hour experience. B, our Secretary of State's offices have got their shit together. You can't even walk in anymore. You got to make an appointment. And it's so great because you don't have to sit there and wait. You make an appointment. Before when you had to walk in, right? You knew that was the day you were going to go down there and spend half the fucking day sitting in there, right? Even though it was never that bad around here. In fact, I've cruised back and forth to the county just south of me in the past because it's just a smaller town and you could get right in. But yeah, now it's all appointment. You can't you can't just walk into a Secretary of State's office. At least not in my county. I don't know if it's like that across Michigan or not, but. All right, Mac. Thanks, brother. I'll check it in a minute. I'm about to do a BRB here anyways and make a cocktail, so. Putin says APAC. AIPAC. Yes. Right, with the unfucking checked Israel support, right? Or support for Israel. Mel says it isn't unexplainable. It is 1948 partitions, India and Pakistan. I think maybe you meant Pakistan, Israel, Palestine. This is history. Yeah, not that it isn't but our support as a nation, not like not like the collaborative support of Israel becoming a nation, but everything that happened after that, the ways that the U.S. alone supported not just supported or funded, but the fucking shit that we put up with from them. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Well, that's part of it, Mels. I mean, whether any of my lib friends want to admit it or not, there is a huge aspect of us being a military industrial complex. I mean, you have to look at the 4 or 5 companies, the handful of military companies that our tax dollars are put into, who owns stock in them, all that good stuff, right? It's gross, and it's not like I have a fucking solution, you know? I mean, you don't reverse things like that overnight. I don't know. It sucks. Was he Putin? I seen that it wasn't on Joe Rogan, but I seen Bernie. There was a clip of Bernie going off on Trump's attacking Iran. Was it a long? Was he there for hours like Rogan usually does? Mel says the petition is a big. Mel says the petition is a big issue. That is because we support the ideas of a nation. I was raised a Zionist. Right. Well, that's what it comes down to, right? Like Christian America is supposedly a Christian nation, which I don't go, I don't. I get that that's our predominant religion here in the U.S., but so for sure, right, we always support Israel because they are the chosen people, which makes me sick. About 2 hours, right on. Yeah. No, I feel you, Mels. I don't pretend to know or understand all the details, but I've went into enough in the last year or so in that aspect that's really just turned my stomach badly. Like, because history is dirty, and I know that at least at any given time we can start right today, right? So I try not to get too hung up on shit, but this thing with Israel and our history with them is it's fucking completely ignored. I don't know. I don't understand it. Because like the Trumpers too, they're not like the biggest fucking fans of Israel or whatever, doing all this shit all the time. No, Putin. I didn't mean to say that like politically we support Israel because they are chosen. That, without a doubt, though, brother, I do believe is in the minds of all these individual so-called Christian government reps, right? Our senators, our reps, and of course, just the citizens of the U.S. that are Christians, like folks in my family. They're all about supporting Israel because they believe they are the chosen people. I mean, you don't hear them speak like that all like every day, Putin. And I know you have folks that are very religious or Christian, right close to you. That is without a doubt their fundamental belief, though. Right, the end day nuts. Right, exactly. No, I don't think like it's in our, like written into our laws in any sort of way, or that it's some sort of I don't know how else to explain it. Like it's a huge, it's an overwhelming cultural thing or belief with Americans. Certainly in the religion, in I guess the Christian homes, and which would include most what, and again, I have to quite. It's tough for me because you don't know. I don't like to fucking sit there and beat up on people if they haven't fucking run their mouth and shown exactly who they are. But like for fuck's sake, a lot, you could probably poll, all of our fucking senators and reps, and you would get 95% of them or 90% of them being Christian or Jewish, right? And then, who knows? You'd probably have less than 1% that would not claim or adhere to any religion at all. I don't know for sure. Maybe it'd be a little bit higher, but not much, right? You guys see my point. I mean, I think that, and that's just a guess on my part, but a huge percentage of our reps and senators are probably either Jewish or Christian. Yeah, exactly. Because no. Putin says, I got your point, TV. It sounded funny. It does. It does. It sounds really fucking crazy. Like, we just, How fucked up is that, though, Putin? I mean, for fuck's sake, if I was Jewish and somebody was telling me, you're one of the chosen people, TV, and then I looked out into space and I thought, really? God loves me so much, he put me in the middle of this fucking desert on this fucking rock in the middle of nowhere. Chosen. Fucking winning right here. Yeah. Yeah, also American citizens caught in the net. Right, because, you guys know, my son-in-law, my oldest, very religious, or, they're really down-to-earth, strong Christian folks, all right? Like, they do not think they are flawless or will ever be. They don't preach at folks. They really live every day the best they can and being imperfect, right? But yeah, they would have a hard time with that one. Even them they would have a hard time with that one. Yeah, Latter-day Saints, right. Oh, I think only 100. I don't know if I ever heard that. I know like Latter-day Saints and Seventh-day Adventists are pretty fucking bonkers. God, what is it? I don't know. When I was doing my own lawn care, I worked for this company or this couple that had their own like commercial asphalt business, very small, just the two of them, and sometimes he had a worker come in. And they were the most awesome people, Putin. But when I looked into and that's at the time when I was going to church, right, doing my Southern Baptist church. But they were, I'm not sure if it was Latter-day Saints. Are they the ones that are against makeup and all that shit? These were the most coolest people, but then I got to talking to them about religion a little bit and learned more about what religion or whatever doctrine they were following. And it's like, holy shit, this shit's fucking extreme. It's like crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure I ever heard that about the 100,000. Unless you mean like but you probably aren't speaking of like the 120,000 saints that will supposedly ride back with Christ. Yeah, right on, brother. Oh, yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay. Which is Seventh-day Adventist, right? Or Seventh-day Adventists, aren't they a form of Jehovah's Witness? I may be wrong too, brother. It's hard to keep all that shit straight. There's so many different denominations, right? Aaron, what's up, brother? Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses, 144,000. See, that's 12 times 12,000. Now, maybe I got the numbers wrong, but I believe in Revelation it says that when Christ returns, he'll ride upon this white horse and he'll have his, sandals of glowing bronze and whatever, but he'll be flanked by 120,000 saints. Or is it 144,000 saints? But that wouldn't be Jehovah's Witnesses' beliefs. That's from the Christian Bible, so I don't know. Yeah. All right, you guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm going to do a quick BRB, and I will be right back. You know how we do it. Got to play a little bit of She Said from Mr. Macaroni. All right, you guys, hang tight. I'll be back in just a few minutes, all right? Just in case, 'cause we'll always be friends. And I found what I was looking for all of this time. And it was always right here in front of my eyes. I finally found it. She said I finally found it. She said I finally found what I was looking for. What I was looking for. She said I finally found it. She said I finally found it. Said I finally found what I was looking for. I was looking for. She looked at me and said we had fun. Now don't you ever call me again. I'll be around just in case. We'll always be friends. You and I've been down this road too many times. The answer's always been right here in front of my eyes. I finally found it. She said I finally found it. She said I finally found what I was looking for. She said I finally found it. She said I finally found it. I finally found what I was looking for. I was looking for. And I'm back. Back in the saddle again. Was it buffering, Aaron? Should be alright. YouTube is sketchy at times. They've probably been busy too lately. Yeah, so I haven't, because of the protests, I haven't looked into it much yet, but I've been planning on seeing who is all part of these private American companies that are providing security for the IDF at these food distribution centers in Gaza. I doubt that we would get. I don't know how much. Like Israel, the IDF for one, they're completely fucking, just shut down as far as information goes that they don't want out there. So you're not likely going to get much information about how it's all coordinated, and who, like what aspect the American security companies are playing. Like, it's strange. I'm guessing the American security companies are probably right within the distribution centers, even though I do believe there is some fucking killing going on right in the centers at times. I mean, seen a story with a mom of 6 kids who went there, took her the whole fucking day. People started being killed around her, and she went home empty-handed and said she's never going back. And it's like, how can you blame? I mean, it's like leaving her kids at home, and she's the only one they have left in the world, right? And if something happened to her while she's trying to get food, it's insane. Putin says Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This is from Reuters on the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. U.S. to give $30 million to Gaza aid operation despite violence concerns. The U.S. approves $30 million for Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Some U.S. officials concerned about the violence chaos near the aid hubs. GHF says it has delivered more than 40 million meals in the past month. The United States has given $30 million to a controversial humanitarian group delivering aid in war-torn Gaza despite concern among U.S. officials about the month-old operation and the killing of Palestinians near food distribution sites. According to 4 sources and a document seen by Reuters. Okay, so this is the part. Thanks, Putin. This is what I was referring to. Washington has long backed the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation diplomatically, but this is the first known U.S. government financial contribution to the organization, which uses private U.S. military and logistics firms to transport aid into the Palestinian enclaves for distribution at so-called secure sites. Right. While just outside of these sites, you know, single mothers of 6 are being targeted. Oh, damn it, my eyes. A document reviewed by Reuters showed that the $30 million U.S. Agency for International Development grant to the GHF was authorized on Friday under a priority directive from the White House and State Department. The document showed an initial $7 million disbursement had been made. So my concern is that we have, which I wasn't aware of this, Putin, so thank you. My concern was that we just have American security companies over there that are providing private security, for instance, for these distribution sites that are ran by Israel, right? Controlled by Israel. They decide how many trucks come in or whatever of aid. These companies are being paid probably, though I'm not so sure now, I mean, at least not exclusively by the IDF or by Israel, right? But we are giving all this aid to Israel, and now you see the White House, who, I want to remind you, just, tried to shut down everything about U.S. AID, is now, approving like first-time financial aid to this organization or foundation. So it's disgusting. Trump is 100%. Like, if you want to fucking make some money doing some really fucking shady shit, support Trump.
Of its aid through a US and Israeli-backed group. Large crowds of Palestinians gathered around 8 trucks in Gaza's Bet Lahia Monday. Some climbed on board the trucks to get food as a hunger crisis deepened following Israel's military assault on Gaza. In amongst the commotion Monday, an injured man was carried away on a stretcher. It was unclear how he got hurt or how badly he was injured. Israel has been channeling most of its aid through a US and Israeli-backed group, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, or GHF, which operates several distribution sites in areas guarded by Israeli forces. Gaza medics say those soldiers have shot and killed dozens of Palestinians trying to get food from aid trucks in recent days. The Israeli military has said its forces opened fire and fired warning shots to disperse people who approached areas where troops were operating, posing a threat. It said it was reviewing reports of casualties among civilians. Humanitarian groups say the GHF system forces people to risk their lives by entering combat zones to access food. 28-year-old Palestinian Mohammed Abdel Jawad is among those seeking aid.
I wait for the food. I want food. I'm a human who needs to eat. I have no food, no shelter. All the people have been exhausted. We come and wait here. I swear we are like surrendering ourselves to death. By God, we are walking into death. There's no solution. If you want to feed us, feed us. If you don't want to feed us, kill us. If you don't want us to live a decent life, kill us.
In a review of the EU-Israel Association Agreement, the EU's diplomatic service pointed out Israel's shortcomings in Gaza, such as denial of humanitarian aid, attacks on hospitals and medical facilities.
Look where they're fucking living, for Christ's sake, you guys. There's nothing there anymore but rubble. There is no place to grow food. There's no food to be had, no shelter, no, basic facilities, no running no water. Fuck running water, they can't even get it.
Displacement and lack of accountability.
This is we are 100% saying America, it's all of us, you guys, unless we go out, fucking speak out, we're sitting here saying this is okay. We have been.
Israel's foreign ministry has rejected the EU report as a, quote, moral and methodological failure. Meanwhile, UNICEF warns Gaza is facing a man-made drought due to a shortage of fuel to operate wells and desalination plants. A UNICEF spokesperson said only 40% of drinking water production facilities remain functional, and soon children will begin to die of thirst. The UN Children's Agency also reported a 50% increase in children aged 6 months to 5 years admitted for treatment of malnutrition from April to May in Gaza, and 500,000 people going hungry.
So, and I don't know what the cost was. Might not be able to get a number on it. But I can tell you that 14 large cargo planes were sent to Israel from the U.S. in this last 12 days of this ongoing battle with Iran. 14 cargo planes of whatever. But we're okay. That's on top of whatever our fucking yearly committed or budget committed aid to Israel is. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know what to say, you guys. I feel like a fucking idiot. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic. You can't be, right? I mean, literally. It's all right. You guys seen it. We've all seen it. And what do? And I'm not trying to trash you guys or myself. It's like, I don't know what to fucking do, but like, we are supporting a country that is forcing not just allowing it, they're forcing children to die of thirst and starvation. God, I can't. Every time I start seeing this shit and thinking about it, I see BB's fucking smug face and think, this is a twisted motherfucker. Like, he is more twisted than Trump because he's far more intelligent than Trump. Trump is just a fuck up compared to someone like BB. Yeah, Putin says we're sheltered from Hunger Games. We don't fucking get it. The worst of the worst, the worst situations here in America, and I'm not saying those, the folks that are depending on free meals or, soup kitchens or churches, different organizations to get a meal each day or at least a meal. I'm not saying they aren't appreciative, but even our homeless don't know the kind of struggle that these kids. I mean, for fuck's sake, they're trying to. Can you imagine getting to the point where you don't even give a fuck about like the bombs going off overhead, and the fucking rounds of bullets being fired all around you constantly? That it gets to be, you get desensitized from it because you're hungry. Like, who gives a fuck if they're, yeah, bullets, bombs going off. Where can I get something to eat or a glass of water? Jay, what's up, brother? Cheers to you. B says plenty of Americans will go to bed hungry tonight. I'm not saying that isn't a lot of Americans that are food deficient, right? I mean, you guys know that's something that, I think there's no excuse for. Obviously, I strongly support food programs for kids and schools, but they're not going to know. Nobody, even the homeless. There's people bring food to them. Even the addicts down there in Philadelphia, right on Kensington Avenue, they have cars pull up every day with fucking warm meals for these folks. They're not experiencing what little kids are in Gaza because of us. Because of us. Look, Israel would not be happening, period, if U.S. cut off military aid to Israel. It's really that simple. B says, I had no idea how many elderly go without food because they can't afford to live off Social Security. It's very sad. Living here was open my eyes. Right, B. That's like, I've spoke that my parents traveled back and forth, were snowbirds basically for a long time, but then spent the last several years before mom passing down in Florida, but it was expensive, and so they moved up here. Oh, they were back for 18 months or so before mom finally passed. But, they had to take out a loan, and Max is out on Social Security. He was a fucking coast-to-coast truck driver. But mom, not so much, And so they were still just, they didn't struggle to eat or anything, but they were, they were on a budget. Like if there was any, thankfully they had Medicaid and, whatever insurance comes along with Social Security, but they, that's all they were going to do was sit and live out the rest of their lives just maintaining. And it's pretty gross. Hey, Bear, what's up, sister? Cheers to you. No, B, I don't disagree that there's a lot of folks that go hungry in the States, but honestly, there's not that just there isn't an excuse. And I mean, I don't pretend to understand it all or know all the situations, especially in big cities and in poor areas of these cities, right? And not even just big cities, like maybe fucking isolated southern towns or, towns in the South, in the deep South or whatever. We've all seen it. Fuck, I seen that in the 70s without a doubt. So I just feel like, for the most part, if any American wants a meal, hopefully, and I'm not saying that for certain. I'm sure there are some cases where someone's looking for a meal and they just aren't able to get it because there is no soup kitchen near them. They're maybe between 20 and 50 years old and they don't qualify for any sort of food assistance. I don't know. Yeah, rural poverty, exactly. B says there. B, that's very interesting, sister. So B says there's 320 homes in her gated community down there in Florida. Half are very wealthy. Some can get by, and some can't get by. A guy here built a free store in his garage and gives away food to residents here. That's fucking awesome. So, B, when you talk about the folks that can't get by, they probably have, because it's a gated community, I'm assuming they have quite a bit of equity, like in their homes. But I get it, sister. Like, I don't want to get into my personal issues, but yeah, I get it. Like, you can own a home and a pretty nice home and be broke, right? Like, it's even not having a mortgage any longer, right? Just keeping up on property taxes, maybe in an expensive place to live, but just, they acquired that home maybe while they were working and were thankfully able to pay it off, and or not, I don't know, and didn't, maybe they didn't have a great, aren't maxed out on Social Security or whatever it is. I don't know how how it all works from state to state either. That's cool, B. B, that's what it's going to take. And that's the thing that keeps me going, sister. B mentions that one of the fellas creating a free store in his garage and giving away food to folks. I think that's so awesome. It's like, I look at people like, even though I'm sure they're fine, Warren Buffett, how he said he wasn't leaving any of his money to his kids or something like that. Even though I'm sure they all do quite well on their own. I just assume, but yeah, I mean, I know that no matter what I leave my kids, they're probably going to make good use of it. But like, I'm going to know before I go what kind of position they're in anyways, right? And would whatever I have to give when I go, or I have left when I go, who's it going to do how is it going to do the most best, right, for this world, which is going to include my kids. Yeah, that too, Putin. Putin says well, if the home is in a trust, it can be more complicated to get the equity out of the home, depending on terms of a trust. Another complication for older homeowners is they have to hire out for maintenance. Yeah. They should stop taxing seniors at a certain wealth level. I'm all about that. You mean, like, especially because I'm assuming, Putin, you're thinking your mindset is that seniors who probably aren't like working necessarily, or maybe bringing in less than 10, 20,000 a year or something in a kind of side income. Some states offer a small reduction in property tax past a certain age. Right on. Putin, I know the last time I talked to you before the other day, brother, you were heading to the Midwest. Is that where you were all this time? I did just see an article, too, yesterday about home prices increasing just slightly, though they said there was some sort of positive note to that. I can't remember. Putin says his aunt gets about $2,400 a month in SS, but every month she has to pay $600 a month towards property. Holy fucking balls! Jesus Christ, Putin! I can't. And I'm sure she had, probably lives in a really nice area, has a nice home. I mean, you would have to, right? Oh, what is mine? $1,600 a month or something. Like if I got the shit, if I could ever get the size of this fucking dump is, if I could ever get it all fucking straightened out, unfortunately, it'd probably go up 20-25% because, God, the houses around me are fucking insane. I mean, insane. That fucking, I think I told you guys, that house that got built 2 years ago across the street from me just sold for $350,000. I'm like, we're out in the middle of fucking cow fucking area. This isn't even like, I mean, we are, 30 minutes from Grand Rapids. We're 15 minutes from the lake shore, and there's a lot of goodness all up and down the lake shore. It's a pretty vibrant area as far as plenty to do and all that shit, and being close to, areas where there's, a lot of people work, like Grand Rapids, for instance. But holy fuck, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, all the fucking houses around. I'm bringing people's property values down. Putin says avoid reappraisal. Right on. Yeah. Right. Like taxable value versus resale value. James says a pizza chain here has been giving away thousands of pizzas to people in need. Putin, great feel-good story. Pizza bite. Good to know some people still give a shit. Yeah, it's like, well, James, I've said, and it's like, you guys know, maybe you guys probably don't know just quite how humble we live. And if I fucking speak on it too much, it won't be very humble, right? But like, how could I live in an area like, whether I was, like if you took 20 fucking people on my block or something, that, however many houses are on my street, and I was right dead center of all 20 of those households, income level wise, like, I don't know. I just don't get how people are so disconnected from the fact that if their neighbors are doing better, it's just plain better for them, right? I mean, for a lot of fucking reasons. Whether it's, taxing our medical system, our hospitals, our medical center, centers, because folks can't afford insurance like myself, or it's because they don't have a place to live or something to eat, or because of crime being involved, or now, being a factor in some of those other issues. Yeah, Jay says avoid reappraisal. A-Bear says we've noticed a major jump in real estate prices where she is, especially in high-end homes. Yeah, well, I have our friends, a couple that we are best friends, I guess, that we hang out or yap with most of the time. They've been looking for a home. She's been renting forever now, the same place, and they got together a few years ago. I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And his brother lives out here not far from me. I don't know, I'm probably like 15 minutes from them. But it's like, it's so fucking crazy, the prices of shit, and then it's not just the prices. It's like the interest rates aren't fucking great, you know. B, now that's interesting. B says home prices near her in Florida, I'm assuming. 'Cause I know she owns all kinds of fucking houses. There's an overstock of houses. It's bad. B, how much of that is due to the insane property taxes and insurance rates? And I know that can vary quite a bit from like the center of the state, right, compared to the or maybe even low-lying areas compared to higher-lying areas, and compared to the coast, and probably maybe even a huge difference obviously in the on the Gulf Coast as opposed to the East Coast. All right, I'm gonna click Putin's link a minute. Look at that shit. So that's some of the, I believe Putin said, from distribution center in Gaza. One of them. One of only two, I believe. Look at that shit. It's just, look at that shit. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor or not. Probably. It's fucking deep. This mouse is giving me, I wanted to expand it, but it's deep with people. There's tens of thousands of folks there. So, of course, you know, I thought Putin was maybe just showing me how fucking absolutely, you know, desperate the situation is, but then there's fucking rounds of ammunition going off. Thanks, Putin. This is, anyway, so this is what American security companies are basically being a part of. Now, I don't think for a second that the American security companies, private security companies, are the ones blowing off rounds. They are helping to corral and, you know, literally herd these folks, Palestinians, into these fucking areas. Like, it's what Bibi's doing is literally like just one step shy of just go ahead and fucking putting out a fucking bomb or two on those camps, right? Like, I don't give a fuck what people say. I don't give a shit how somebody prove me wrong. That's exactly what Bibi wants. Are you kidding me? It's their fucking faith, right? Wipe out the Jews, or wipe out the Muslims. Yeah, they probably feel that way about each other, but, you know, the Palestinian people are in no position to wipe out anybody. They're not even in a position to survive. They don't even have options. Like, you know, if water is 1,000 miles away and you have none, and you're able to walk there unhindered, you have that option. They don't even have that option. Like, they know where water is, and they can go there, and they may be killed because purely 100% because they're going there for water. You know, like that guy said, you know, why not, if you don't want them to live any sort of halfway decent life, then kill them. If you're not even going to give them an opportunity to survive, you know, this is like what we call our inalienable rights. Having that 3 foot by 3 foot fucking space around you that was given to you by however we came to be when you started taking a breath, you get that, period. And you get the right to fucking seek out water and food. I don't know what to say. I guess we're going to see, you know, it's a slow burn, or it's a slow resolution, right, for Bibi. If he's only going to take out 20, 30 Palestinians at a time, I don't know how many are remaining. What it's been, 50, 60,000 Palestinians murdered in the last 2 years. I don't even want to guess. I can't remember what the population of Gaza was total. 3 or 4 million, close to 4 million. I shouldn't have even guessed because I'm not sure. I know tons have fled. I mean, Bibi, this isn't going to, I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't think that this is going to, that there's ever going to be, it's ever going to go back to where there was a Gaza and it was just well monitored and, you know, oppressed by Israel. Like, they're never leaving. Like, honestly, that's what I think. I don't know how long the last Israeli occupation of Gaza lasted, but I just, they're not leaving. They're not letting Palestinian people rebuild there. They're not going to. I mean, we just seen yesterday a couple's apartment and their 2 7-year-old children bombed. I mean, that shit's not indiscriminate. I mean, what are they? They're not. Bibi's excuse is that there are still Hamas groups or cells or whatever all throughout Gaza, and they are not going to stop until they root all of them out. And how would anyone know? How would anyone know if they have been all rooted out, right? So it's a real easy go-to for Bibi just to throw out those general terms, or, you know, just kind of like throw out these statements that are very unclear and impossible to confirm or, you know, prove. Yeah, Putin says 2 million. 2 million. Thanks, Putin. Yeah, that's why I struggled I was hesitant to guess how many folks were there, but what the population was. So Putin says around 2 million folks in Gaza, or was, yeah, over 2 million in Gaza. And I'm sure it's down below that now. Again, I probably shouldn't be, guessing anymore. James, I love you, brother. Cheers to you and Mrs. M. Peace out, all right, brother. We'll see you soon. God damn it, Putin. I'm pissed. What can I do with this fucking energy, brother? I'm serious. I can vote. I'm doing all that shit, good shit nowadays. I can stream. I can scream. I feel a little selfish, Putin, because this isn't all just about I don't know, man. I don't want to sound like a fucking dipshit, but it's tough for me to take this shit. It is. Like, as a fucking able-bodied human being, it's like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Yeah, I'm not going to do any good by just going out and fucking doing some fucking stupid radical shit, which I have no desire to do anyways. It's tough, man. It's fucking tough. Putin, do you think overall, if you just take the last 10 centuries, do you think, because look, like I brought up before, how a lot of us look up to our founding fathers for a lot of good reasons, but there were, just like with the Andrew Cuomo thing, right? Like, yeah, he's experienced and he's tough, and we can look at our founding fathers in some of those same ways, like they were experienced, smart, tough, very, just very meticulous. And they also thought it was okay to own people. And it's like, was there ever a time that morals needed to evolve? Like, why would it ever be? Certainly individuals can, can do better, and we do. Hopefully, most of us continue to improve ourselves, right? Have we gotten any better, Putin, do you think, over the last 10 centuries, over the last 1,000 years, as far as have governments shown any more sort of, and I watched a lot of those Harari interviews last night, Putin. I don't know if you caught the one with Poppy Harlow. That was the first one I watched after I stopped yapping with you guys. Have we became any more humane? I mean, we could go, obviously, we could go on about how technology has done nothing but sped up our anxiety and sped up the problems that we have to address. Certainly, we've seen a lot of good things come from technology, but, and I've said this for a while, has technology improved our lives at all? I don't think so. I don't, like Harari says, that it hasn't made us any happier. It's made some things easier, but it's created more pressure on us, right? So, like, have we evolved at all as far as government leaderships? Just not here in the U.S., and obviously we haven't been around for 1,000 years anyways, but like, we're not fighting wars like World War II anymore, but has it improved at all? I mean, is it all still so fucking intense under the surface that it could be 10 times worse? Yeah, Putin says I need to focus on some good stories and balance the depravity. I can see it, Arlene. I could see you earlier when you were asking where I was at. No, Putin, I'm always probably, I mean, I have my moments, brother. You know that. I don't shy away from that. But every day I wake up with the choice of being pissy or fucking getting after it, right? And most of the days I choose to get after it. Most of them. Sometimes by the end of that same day I might be pissy, but it never lasts long. There isn't an issue with our good stories. The good stories aren't fucking hurting us, Yeah, we have a really long way to go. I don't know, Putin. I have a hard time believing that. I mean, I don't want to sit here and rehash everything heard, was refreshed on, but like, we're just inherently selfish species. And it all comes down to willpower, self-control, and strength in those areas. And I don't condemn folks that don't have the strength to maintain to be even a half-assed decent human. It's just, how do we deal with it? And again, brother, I don't necessarily, I mean, I hope to, I don't know. I was going to say I hope to live for a while longer, whatever that may be. But I think, well, am I even going to see anything really just complete breakdown of the world societies in my lifetime, even if I live for another 30 years, which would make me like 84 or something? It seems unlikely, but then I don't know. I mean, shit moves along really fast. Putin says, I don't think we are inherently a selfish species. I think our reward systems are out of whack. There's a lot of goodwill. Well, there is. And yeah, I'm not sure, like, well, instinctively, primitively, right? Our primal instincts are survival, and we do still carry those. But to your point, I think, like, hopefully we've advanced enough that, I mean, for sure we've advanced enough that we are now self-aware. The problem is why isn't it that there's still so many of us that are able to go, yep, this is a bad choice and I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Why, even though we may really even physically feel the consequences at that time, like your heart sinks a little bit because you know you're about to be a part of something really shitty, whatever it is, right? Like just voting for Trump, when you just, because you're a fucking disgusting racist prick, or just because you're a fucking money grubbing prick, right? Yeah, Abear says amen to your last two posts, Putin. Yeah, you guys know I am a glass is half full guy. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe my last 5 minutes of ranting might disagree with that, but there's a lot of fucked up people out there in power, and what's crazy is the people that are successful clearly are folks that are driven, right? You know, and this has come up right before with just folks being educated, have the opportunity for education, choosing not to, is it okay or does it make sense that someone would just choose not to further their education beyond high school, and if they were able to survive on like a full-time fast food job or whatever it is that okay? Well, of course it is, I guess, in the sense that they have the freedom to choose to live however they want. They're able to, but like how is that same mindset okay when it's clearly ignoring these really aggressive driven folks that don't all have, again, to refer to Yuval Hari, not all rich people are inherently evil. but the ones that are have a lot of fucking ability to do damage. Yeah. Well, I agree, Putin. You know that better than me. Dude, you know as well as me how I feel about that, because TV isn't a successful person in the sense that I have a huge bank account or whatever folks might see as successful, right? But, and I won't go into details, the life that I had, the childhood, the upbringing I had, which was a lot of good stuff, but some really fucked up shit. And then to raise 5 children, stay married for 30 years, raise 5 children that are already all doing better than me, from almost 21 to 30. What year are we in? 34 years now. 21 to 34. Well, yeah, just sitting in my own home peacefully, connecting with really good folks for years, still beating my guitar. I guess the only thing I have left to do, Putin, is to see what else how I can fucking help. That, honestly, that's it. It's like, and I only, I'm not like driven or chase after money, but I'm not ignorant to the fact I could do a lot of more of what I would like to do, with finances, right? Like, I want to enjoy life, but at the same time, I want to, I'm at a standstill. Like, I can keep being a productive member of society by working, paying taxes, blah, 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 being a good husband, being a good dad, being a good neighbor. But beyond that, I'm never going to be like wealthy, probably. And so I'll never be in a position like Bezos or whoever could be to do these huge charitable, donations. But so I think that's probably the next step, right? Like, who was it? Gloria, are you still here? Wasn't it Gloria that was saying the best thing we can do is, maybe it was A-Bear, I don't know, one of you ladies, start at home, start locally, or always be locally, because that's where you're going to make the biggest impact. I'm rambling, ain't I? Yeah, but the primitive societies functioned as communities for their well-being, right? And if someone driven, if they accumulate, is someone driven if they accumulate wealth versus someone is equally driven who cares for the community through involvement in charity? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I totally agree, Putin. It's like, what is it that... Well, look, I guess, Putin, maybe like, if we look at the folks that are driven towards accumulating wealth, which you and I don't think we are, condemning at all, folks that want to be wealthy or have earned it, whatever. But what is the influence of that, what you're driven for? Like, Putin mentions that you can be driven towards caring for communities and involvement in charity. And that doesn't carry the same weight, unfortunately, or the same influence that dollars do, right? And so if those dollars are being used to, because somebody values obtaining a great amount of wealth, like the Koch brothers, right? And what it is they do with those dollars, as opposed to maybe many more folks, 10 times the two Koch brothers, just being driven by doing more for their community, which there's really nothing to like accumulate in that way. You know, material wise, we just see our communities doing better because of the folks helping them. Yeah, it's a fucking tough battle, right? For one, too, I think it goes back, if I can say again, that we have a selfish aspect to us. I mean, it's what do we get out of it, you know? Someone like a Chud isn't going to ever be able to recognize what they've gained from helping someone as opposed to investing in some dirty deed that they might get a fucking tenfold return on. Yeah. Dollars and power is part of the current value system. Well, Jay, Jay says think global, not local. I think that's where you're going to make the greatest impact. I do believe that is locally, right? Because look, how much as individuals, unless we have a great deal of monetary influence, are going to really impact things globally. But Jay, that's where I've came. I mean, coming from, before I met a lot of you folks, coming from all the crazy conspiracy shit and just hammering down on the New World Order thing and the one world government and all that crazy shit, I now am basically 100% on a one world society, not a one world government, one world society, and we're already, well on our way. Have been. We're more than 50% of the way there because of trade, right, and because of tourism and just people traveling all over for different just to see other places. So in that aspect, I think there is no future for humanity, Jay, without being a one world society. However that works. I don't think we would do well having an individual leader in the world, obviously. Centralization seems to be kind of, be a big factor in oppression, at least through history. Centralization of powers, I guess. Gloria says, my religion is kindness, giving, having empathy, and caring for people and animals. Right on, sister. Yeah, Gloria, I don't like claim to be a religious person anymore. I took a lot of good stuff from my time in the church. I was really I grew up as a kid. I went to church, not regularly or anything, but it wasn't foreign to me, right? Like mom, we never had Bible studies at home, nothing like that. But there would just be, however often, few times a year or once a month or whatever it was, we'd go to church. Mainly if it was Great Granny Green, my great grandmother, that was insisting everybody come to church. But so when I was 34 and doing a lot of self-reflecting and stressed and trying to fucking figure out some shit, how to clean my act up, I started going to church, and I went to church on my own, gave Christina and the kids, if they wanted to come, whatever, but I never really went to Sunday morning services. It was always Sunday night, Wednesday night, because I am totally, just threw myself into studying. It wasn't about preaching to my family. Didn't have a lot of discussions with friends or family about what I was learning or the latest sermon or whatever, because I didn't give a fuck. I was looking for answers. So, but I took a lot of good stuff out of it. I mean, a lot of Jesus's words are what we attribute to Christ's words. You know, it's just really good common sense, decency, right? Yeah, Jay says we're able to destroy the planet, but not yet able to leave it. Dangerous times. We're able to split an atom, but we cannot yet decipher what the truth is. Eagle says many scientists believe this time we are in has ended the majority of intelligent planets in the universe. All I wanna do is chew some gum. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. I got a good beer bong early in the morning. Oh, this mouse is killing me. Killing me, killing me, killing me, killing me. What'd I do there? Alright. Say, woo! Went all black. I forgot what this was called. Sticky something. Get sticky. Live resin. Oh, yeah. Hey, I tell you what. Because the coffee cocktails go through me, and it's already been another hour. I can't stay with it. I'm starting to mellow out a little bit now. I was all wound up because I hadn't fucking streamed basically since the I didn't stream much since the protests. I didn't over the weekend at all, but yeah, I'm ready to yap for a while. If you guys are up for it, I'm just going to go do a quick BRB. Maybe do a dab off cam so the fucking freaks don't think I'm fucking smoking meth again through a nectar collector. All right. Putin J, A-Bear, Darlene, James split. Mel's was here tonight. Be nice. Fred. Jim Wedge was here. Probably a few other folks Mac was here. Mr. Aaron. All right. Hang tight, you guys. I'll be right back. Harold. Isn't that part of the Fermi paradox? Isn't that like I don't know if that's like the whole basis for the Fermi paradox, but like because of the Jesus Christ, am I blowing you guys out all of a sudden? All of a sudden my mic was redlining because of like the time it takes for intelligent life to evolve, though we only have one example, and that's Earth. And the distances, the time it takes for intelligent life to evolve, and again, only having one example, planet Earth, and the age of the universe and the distances between whatever habitable Goldilocks planets, right? Like, to me, that it is unsettling that we're like could be floating alone in space, right? But it does seem, I mean, there's a lot of shit going on out there, right? My guess is that there is probably intelligent life somewhere else in the universe. Could be quite a ways away from us. But, I mean, maybe not a lot of other current, like, intelligent life civilizations right now in the universe because, again, of, well, either, you know, assuming we only, like humans, for instance, again, Earth being our only example, we're not very kind to ourselves. We do a lot of things to kind of end our reign, you know. So yeah, I guess it could be pretty I mean, it is a little bit of a dark thought, but for fuck's sake, I mean, there's probably a lot of civilizations, intelligent civilizations out there in the universe. And I say a lot because of the size of the universe, but maybe percentage-wise, really, really small, quite a ways away from us. Yeah, different stages of development. Who knows? Mac, cheers to you. Mac Dog in the house. Yeah, A Bear says on the upside. Why is that a positive, A Bear? Misery loves company, I guess, right? A Bear says on the upside somewhere another planet is feeling our angst. Yeah, Jay says billions of years of time for it to happen. Like, I mean, I guess you could take that you could say that it took, well, it did, however long, whenever you might consider the development of the planet Earth happening, 4 billion years, right, before we got to where we're smart enough to be able to fuck ourselves up. Knocked my meth torch over. So did you guys see I got the midterm elections clock back up? We have 496 days, 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 28 seconds until the midterm elections. We're under 500 days now. It's been a few months since I had that clock up. It still seems like a whole long ways away. I'll check my email a second because what the fuck? God damn it, I'm so pissed. Oh, for fuck's sake. I forgot that I have two-step verification on now. Right. God made rocks, and then the next day he made. How did all that work? I just watched some fucking. I don't know why I go through it again because I keep hoping that there'll be some sort of details that emerge from any of the Sumerian cuneiform tablets or the earliest of the Torahs or whatever. Yeah, I forget the timeline on that. God created Earth, and then He separated the sky or something from the earth, or separated the land from the water. Made all the plants and sea life first, and then made land animals. Like man was the last thought, right? His last thought. One day after another, whatever that is. I've had some pretty productive weeks, but nothing like that. Mac has a pet rock and like to throw at a taco. B says it would be an interesting book of short stories to have each of any group write a description of their personal thoughts on our collective existence from the beginning of time. B, I got something for you that you may have heard of. I love this. I'm just such a fucking NPR nut. And it's kind of a more condensed version of what you were just suggesting. This is called the Moth Radio Hour. And here in West Michigan, it's aired on Saturday afternoons at around 1 o'clock or so. Absolutely just the best goddamn stories. If you guys don't get a kick, whenever you decide, and if you just go over to the website and choose a date and listen, or if you listen this coming weekend, I promise you won't be disappointed. They're usually 10 to 15 minute stories of everyday folks standing on stage and just explaining something specific about the last however many years of their life, something really profound. Their little corner of existence, be what they've gone through, how they've, and it's always usually there's always a way bigger picture associated with their personal struggle or triumph. It's good stuff. It's it's 1,000. It's 1,000 years, I believe, Jay. Right? My band Compulsive Disorder had a song, and the lyrics were just that: 1,000 years is day one, 2,000 years, second day is done. I think that's where we got the 6,000-year-old Earth from, and God doing his 6 days, or creating all this in 6 days. I'm pretty sure that's like the general consensus, Jay, of like the hardcore how do I say this? Folks that take the Bible literally. 1,000 years is day one. 2,000 years. Second day is done. This is crazy. We spent a lot of time on religion tonight, and it all went pretty smoothly. I'm shocked. This isn't something that any of us really just kind of like gravitate to. Just happened. I mean, I'm clearly like, we all find it really interesting. It's sadly it's all too muddy to make any sense of, but DHS contractors for kidnapping. DHS contractors for kidnapping. These job adverts confirm that DHS ICE is hiring people off the street with as little as 2 years military service. This is where the mass of unqualified mass kidnappers and bounty hunters has appeared. This is insane. I don't know how. I know that we've had these ICE agents, large when they're arresting someone on the street in a group of, arresting one person, but with a group of 6, 7, 8, however many ICE agents. Very few of them have any sort of identifying marks. Maybe you get someone presenting a badge to one of the folks that are being arrested, but excuse me, sorry. Plus CBP is hiring former war and terror analysts to hunt Americans and migrants alike. Straight up secret police shit. These were on LinkedIn. Can't see. Can I expand that? No. All right. I guess I'm not going to be able to get that much bigger. Yeah, it's cutting. I don't know. It's cutting part of the top off. It says Transportation Services of the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Maryland candidate will assume full-time status as salary of $27.68 per hour. Average completion time for onboarding and contract required. Who the fuck wrote this shit? Required training is roughly between 4 to 8 weeks. Essential duties and responsibilities. Following duties outline the primary responsibilities associated with the position. This list is not exhaustive, meaning there could be more or other details, and additional tasks may be assigned as needed. Perform transportation duties in accordance with PBNDS. We're probably not, there's probably no definition of that here, but standards and this is where they kill half of American citizens. And it's not an excuse, but it's fucking taxing, right? It like you have to involve yourself. I don't know what the fuck PBND. I'm sure it has something to do with. Oh, it just said perform. Sorry, perform transportation duties in accordance with standards and training. Document all detainee transports, ensuring the safety of detainee records and possessions at all times. Provide trip documentation, and the transportation coordinator promptly inform the operations supervisor, transportation coordinator, and project manager of any route changes. Here's some other requirements: being efficient, Microsoft Office, valid Maryland wear and carry permit. I got for a weapon, I guess. Wear and carry, I guess, must mean it has to be unconcealed. Yeah. Putin, what is it? What was I fucking ranting about earlier about? And me and Abe were talking about it earlier today or yesterday or something about, just laying down as many steaming piles of shit. There's just, I mentioned with America, half of America just being completely fucking turned off by the intense amount of information coming out. That they just throw up their hands and say, fuck it. And, we're not even, and it's, they're throwing their hands up and saying fuck it about shit that's, not that it isn't concerning, but it's a distraction, purposeful or not, purposely or not, from the underlying problem, the slippery slope that shit like that last article we just went through, is showing us. It's I don't know what to say. Like, I guess I assume, and I don't think this, you guys know that, but I mean, it's not in my nature to think, just to have that mindset, but I guess that most of the white folks in our nation don't feel they're at risk in these situations. Maybe our black communities don't feel like they're at risk necessarily for, being caught up in an ICE raid. So we don't give a fuck about, I don't know what to say. You guys know the Ben Franklin quote, right? Anyone willing to give up a little bit of their freedoms in exchange for security deserve neither. Yeah, Putin says that was just for Maryland. CBP is Custom and Border Patrol, right? No idea if they had similar adverts for other states. Well, like, we've all, and you've been busy the last few weeks, but like, even though there was ICE raids that were happening before you ventured off for a minute, they, as you know, brother, and we haven't even had a chance to really talk about, like, the protest that went down for 12, 13 days, and, then the parade, and just recently the fucking Iran bullshit, but I lost my train of thought. Saying for other states, Customs and Border Patrol. Yeah, like, oh, I know what I was saying. Like, why we haven't seen such strong raids in blue or in red states like Texas. And yeah, obviously Arizona, California. I don't know what state has the highest rate of illegal immigration, but Texas has to be right up there, right? Whether they're second or third or first, they have to be right fucking up there. I mean, Texas has the longest border with Mexico for sure. I'm just guessing they must. And I know it's not like you can just fucking cross anywhere because there's so much desert, but yeah, like Putin, we see, just still dwelling on your comment there about, or, that article about these folks being recruited that have, literally no experience, just a couple years of military experience. Like, what the fuck does that mean? They're fucking peeling potatoes as a fucking private? How many of them have, and I'm not bashing, it's just how many folks have untreated PTSD that you're gonna fucking stick out in the street dealing with folks that now they're just automatically gonna be, positioned to see these folks as, I don't know about, I don't want to overstate it, like an enemy or a threat, but well, they're out there to get them off the street, right? And so, yeah, it's fucked up, man. What could go wrong? Jay's got a New York City mayoral election update for us. Numbers are down for the primaries, 44% for Ma'am Downey, 36 for... Who is? I thought there was this Zohan or Zoran candidate. Are you going? Or is that can't be a Republican candidate, right? He was an Obama advisor. Or am I just thinking of a fucking totally different race? I'll bet you that's it, isn't it? I'm thinking of a Senate race, possibly. Oh, no. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I apologize. So, Memdani is his first name. Hey, Golf. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the update. Yeah. Yeah, I don't pretend that I come off as I keep up on so much. I can barely keep Michigan straight, and then the bigger national contests, right? Yeah, I had only seen, like I said, I watched a story on PBS NewsHour last night that focused on Zoran. I'm probably still getting that wrong. And Cuomo. And it was basically, though I didn't bring up the other side of it, it came down to, Cuomo's only fucking bitch about this guy was that he didn't have the experience, and all the times we're in, how do you put someone in without that kind of experience? Well, it was a fucking Obama or advisor. I forget he has a list of experiences for sure. So of experience. So it doesn't matter. I mean, and that's what I ask at the beginning of the stream. It's like, does it fucking matter? How do you support? I don't get, seriously. It's like, I don't know. I wish I could give a great example of it, but like, all the good you do doesn't, you know, cancel out the bad that you do. They are different boxes that have to be viewed separately. Like, one just doesn't have to do with the other. It just does not matter the amount of good you do if you're done some bad, you know? And I know you guys get that. So, but I don't understand how New Yorkers are clearly not seeing it that way. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, at least it looks like he will, that Zoran will. God, I wish I could get a pronunciation. I should grab Google's audio translator. Yeah, it looks like he'll get the Dem nom at least, right? It's just, it's fucking frightening. I don't have the vocabulary. It's more than sad. It's perplexing that Cuomo would get the support that he is. Exactly. Cuomo's baggage is intolerable. It is. How do you... None of us are perfect, but for fuck's sake, that's a real easy do better choice, right? Or decision, right? It's like, we only have to fucking be totally fucking, aiming for sainthood to say, look, we can do better than fucking Cuomo. Why not? How about not voting for him and condemning him during this race? Period. Like, that would be the thing. Like, just come out and say, not only am I not going to vote for Andrew Cuomo despite his incredible experience, his years and consistency on being a really tough leader, he's defective. Look at that. We've had 16 votes so far. Will Iranian, and I ask, oh, I fucked up that, God damn it. Well, I'm not changing it now. I really screwed up that poll, didn't I? How come nobody says TV you got in a hurry? Probably because I should be reading better. For whatever reason, there's no word suggestion or auto correction on these polls, and or when I set up a title in my streaming software. Holy fuck, I really screwed that up. So I misspelled Israel and ceasefire. Ceasefire. Will the Iranian Israeli ceasefire hold? Most of us Well, the polls are out of 16 folks, 88% said no. I don't vote. I don't cast a vote in the polls, but my thoughts are that it won't either. But what does that mean? I thought about that when I was posting this poll. Well, what if it holds for 2 months? Is that any sort of... I mean, it ultimately doesn't make a difference. Was there... I guess if it hold... It, you know, let's say 2 months. If it held for 2 months, could we say then that there was something there that could be worked with? You know, even if it fell apart after 2 months, was there something there that could be worked with that kept the ceasefire on for 2 months, and then that finally broke down as well? It's beyond, for one, it's beyond most Americans' capacity, especially Donald Trump, right? Or you can look at George W. Bush too, you know, and it's not that I've learned a lot recently, but you know, I have always loved history, and it's, you know, and I can't say that I've ever claimed that I've, you know, paid attention to all the disgusting tragedies that's gone on overseas my whole life or anything like that. But certainly, you know, Darfur is what set it off for me. And so Americans in general don't know what the fuck's going on outside of our shores. And I don't mean that in a bad way against most of them, but, you know, when folks start speaking up about how great America is or what we are, or, you know, what a fucking shithole third world country every other place outside of our shores is, because they just have no idea, and they're just like fucking... white is right, USA, you know. Or if you ain't white, you ain't right, whatever. Yeah, Iran, Israel. I totally fucked that poll up, Putin. Sucks I can't edit it either. But I'm alright with that. I've gotten terribly slapped. I've tried not to, it's not an excuse, honestly. I'm just slappy, but you probably can't see. A lot of my letters are worn off the keyboard now. Look how shiny they are. And I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with this, and maybe I'll be able to type without looking at my keyboard once all the letters are gone. But it'll probably all be shit like Israeli ceasefire. Keyboard looks disgusting, don't it? It's clean. It's just fucking... all the finish, everything's fucking just blasted on the keys. God, what else? Just kind of blah blah bullshit. Seen interview with Lisa Murkowski last night. Heard an interview, a separate one with her today, because she's doing her book tour. I didn't know her dad had appointed her his Senate seat to her when he was elected governor, I guess it was. I'm more than open about how I just, you know, everybody's familiar, at least, with the name Lisa Murkowski, but, yeah. And I know she's been, like, whatever, supposed thorn in the MAGA side at times, but I was like, you know, today she said, the interview that I heard with her in the truck tonight was ask about the budget bill, And she's like, well, it's not really Trump's bill, though he named it. And it's like, okay, there's fucking deflection or excuse number one. And then she said, it is a big bill, though not sure there's anything beautiful about it. And it's just like her hesitation to be, this is a crock of fucking shit. I really like what's in it for, border security and banking, I think she mentioned. But then she was like, but being in Alaska, I'm concerned about the Medicaid because we have a lot of our constituents depend on it here in Alaska. And she's like, and then I'm really, questionable about the SNAPS program because the work requirement, because a lot of our communities, there is no such thing as jobs to be had, and anybody who doesn't have their head up their ass knows what it's, has at least watched some documentaries or read something on, just how rural these places are in Alaska, right? But don't forget, it's probably mainly Inuit folks, and so who gives a fuck, right? They're just fucking natives, And obviously Lisa doesn't give a fuck. I mean, because she was struggling to say that this is going to make people go hungry. It's pretty gross. I mean, I don't know, whatever. I'm glad she's a thorn in the MAGA side once in a while, but she could start growing thorns out her spine if she had a spine. If any of these Republicans did. All right, A-Bear, we love you, sister. Be good. Tell Mr. A-Bear I said, what's up? You can give him a hug from me, too. I hug you both. Hug you with my cocktail in my hand. I didn't mean anything dirty about that. I thought it was funny that I couldn't put my drink down. Because we're nearing the end, and it's like, yeah, we're about 3 hours in, and it's about time for TV to fuck off. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, though at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect me at all if you did or not. Whatever. You don't have to like it. All right. Fucking my stupid music software will only hold 8 of my recent files. Otherwise, I have to fucking search through my music files, and I'm not doing that. So I always like going out with a little bit of music, but I doubt anybody will be disappointed. Be Nice and A-Bear and Putin and A-Golf and Darlene and James and MacDog and Macaroni. I'm not going to be able to scroll all the way up, but... Oh, I know who I forgot earlier when I was giving shouts out was Dave. Can you believe that? Dave. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Dave. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Dave. All right, you guys, be good. I'll see you again soon. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Putin, it's good to see you back home here on TV2 Live Chat, brother. I don't want to be all mushy, but I missed you. Especially as shit gets, it's like, what the fuck, man? I swear to God, brother, that happened the last time some crazy shit went down. You fucking disappeared. I'm starting to be a little, starting to wonder what you've been up to. Kind of shit you're involved in and why you haven't included me. All right, you guys be good. Peace and love. TV2 out like a motherfucker. Bop, 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 bop.